All right. So funny story on that last slide, guys, that record one. Those of you that have been here a while, you know this story. I would always run this myself. And so I would have that slide. It wasn't just a record button that said record. It literally said, press record, you idiot. Because so many times I would forget to hit record. So that's what I had. It was a note to myself. And then I was not going to be here one week. So I asked Amber Pearson as politely as I could, hey, Amber, you want to run the call for me? She's like, yeah, totally can run the call for you. She's going through the slides and then it gets to press record, you idiot. She's like, what the heck? And I'm like, I'm so sorry, Amber. You're not the idiot. I'm the idiot. That was for me, not for you. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull our guests up here and let's have some fun tonight. So let's spotlight Rich. Bailey, where'd you go? Let's spotlight Bailey. And I'm gonna add my spotlight here. All right. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, Jim?
Are
Hey.
you in separate offices right now? Is that what I'm seeing?
It is. Yes.
Yeah, you guys normally work like I don't know what the room looks like. I only know what your backdrops look like. Are you guys like opposite walls staring at each other? Like what's that work?
Yes.
What's that look like?
That's exactly what it is. It's literally just
She's right there. Yeah, you just look up
Right
and
there.
that's just Bailey. Just
Yeah.
she's there all the time.
all the time.
All the time.
Except when we do calls, then which is great for me. It's not great for her because that means she's looking at this all the time.
Yeah.
So,
It was a 2 bucket jump for you there, buddy. I'm in that I'm in that category myself there. I'll tell you, my wife, she does not work this business with me. I have this office outside of our house because that is very good for our marriage. She decided that she likes quiet and I don't have an indoor voice. So no matter where I try to hide in the house, my voice will boom and echo, and that does not.
yeah, it doesn't work great when we both start dialing at the same time because
Yeah, do you like I'm actually curious. Do one of you have to leave the room to dial? Are you literally both dialing like cubicles at the same time or trying to talk while the other person's talking?
I don't ever leave. She'll have to, because I have the headphones that like fully cover, so I don't even hear nothing outside of just me and the client. But I've seen her get up many times.
I do have to leave sometimes because he talks very, very loud. And I've had people say, I'm hearing something in the background. So there have been times that I've had to get up and leave. But most of the time, I try to not dial at the same time he's dialing. So
And you're like, this isn't even like a call center with a lot going on. That is literally just my husband.
yeah.
who has soundproof headphones and doesn't know he's yelling, and someone needs to get through to him that he's being really loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's even worse when you get that one client that can't hear. And so I'm trying,
Extra loud.
walk them through how to sign that contract. Like it can get bad.
Man, I love that you guys do this together. Can you take us back to the origin story? What got you into Symmetry? Did you catch this vision together, start running together? Was it one and then the other came along reluctantly? Like walk us through what brought you guys here.
So I've been in the car business for way too long. And I was at a dealership that was kind of sinking, and financially I wasn't making any money. I was literally having to go after I got off work at 7, 8 o'clock at night and go drive Uber until 12, 1, 2 in the morning. And so it was just draining me. I was burned out. Even though I was a sales manager, I enjoyed the sales manager part because I could still pour into people. And it's still kind of a ongoing joke now because I wasn't really looking, because Bailey had told me you might need to look for something else, but I was that loyal guy that was like, they'd been through me through some tough times. I'm not leaving. But I'd kind of started just seeing what was out there. But even to this day, me and Chris don't know. Chris Menifee is my upline, by the way. And we just still don't know how I came about because we can't find it on Indeed, on anything. So we just give it to God. That it was because of God I found Symmetry. But on July 1st, 2024, the company that I was being so loyal to let me go. So I immediately jumped into this full head on, did the pre-licensing in 48 hours, went that same week to go do my license, and then waited a month and a half for my license from the state of Georgia. So during that month and a half, I basically was just all in every single thing I could possibly be a part of, every single video and that I could watch, I was watching it, and then driving Uber at night. So that's basically how I came to it, but I came to it by myself.
And you also came in, I'm going to give some stats here because you came in a little bit like a wrecking ball. I mean, you were August, barely started, got your Pogue 10K cube, which for those of you who don't know, that is 10K in production in a single week. You were brand new doing that. You got a 15K cube that November. You're how many months in by November?
3.
3 months.
Yeah.
How many of you would love to have gotten a 15K in one single week production cube within your first 3 months? Okay. The next spring, March of 25, hit team leader, got your 20K cube in June of 25, got your 25K plaque in June of 25. That was team lead March of 25, hit key leader in July of 25, got a 30K plaque in July of 25, and received a Future Achiever Award in August in 25 at the Engage conference. On freaking fire.
And, you know, it's funny, Jim, because I might be the only person, the one claim to fame I have is I might be the only person in history to hit, and you can't read them. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a mess up. Both of them say key leader for 2 different months. I might be the only person to hit key leader twice. 2 different times.
You did it way too fast. The record keeping couldn't keep up. That's really cool. So you came in like a wrecking ball and you were committed to doing this thing. You on your own pen, crushing it, and building along the way. So Bailey, how did he convince you to come in here and partner up with him in this business?
He didn't. It was 100% conference. He started middle of August. So last year conference was September. So he had been without a job for over a month, starts this new thing that I really wasn't fully excited about. I thought it was a scam. And I
want to dig into that for a second. What about this seemed scammy to you? I'm always curious when people have that hesitation.
Yeah, no offense to you because I know your background of all the things that you've been a part of, but it just came across.
That sounds super sketchy to people that don't know me. I'm gonna have to shed some light on that for a second. Yeah. I'll let you finish, but we got new people on this call, and you're like, all those things you've been a part of. They're like, what things? I will shed light. I left my nursing career and got into the MLM pyramid scheme world. Thought that was a scam myself. We did really well, but we found a lot of instability in that industry where companies would just crumble and crumble and crumble. So yes, she means getting into the MLM world. Yes. Nothing more nefarious than
yes. So I also come from the medical background. I was in the medical field for 12 years. And I had taken off the summer. So I was at home with all 4 of our kids, and he was working the dealership, and I had been telling him, you know, it's time to make a shift. I don't think this is the industry for you anymore. It's just changed so much. There's no more money in it, and we are sinking financially. So let's change it up. So he already said how he came about Symmetry. I had requested time off at my job for the summer to spend more time with the kids, and they pretty much told me, no, we're not going to grant that to you. And I said, okay, peace out. So this was before he lost his job. I had planned to stay home for the summer and just find something once the kids go back to school. So All that happens. He finds Symmetry. I think it's a scam because I think it's like the MLM pyramid scheme type stuff, but I'm playing supportive wife and I'm like, okay, we'll give this a go and see what happens. So he tells me, okay, not only am I starting this new job and I have to pay money for leads, but also we need to pay to go to conference in Denver. And I'm like, okay, scam, scam, scam. Like, hello, are you sure?
Money pit.
Yes. And we're already drowning. So he convinces me to go to conference. And first day, women's event, I was boo-hooing and signed on with Symmetry, signed my contract, onboarded before I left Denver.
Why?
I saw it was Christina Watts and
She does that, doesn't she?
yes. And funny
Yeah.
story about that.
Oh, yeah.
We I wanted to talk to her so bad, and this is obviously before we knew Jim Larson was like the greatest thing ever. So we saw her walking through conference, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, babe, I want to talk to her." And so it was you and her walking, and we went up and met you guys and talked to you. And then afterwards, when Rich listened to you and knew who you were, he was like, "Oh my gosh, I blew my shot at talking to Jim Larson." Like, what?
I was like, I only had enough courage for one person this conference, and I used it on you. Like, I didn't get to meet him.
Oh, you guys are funny. All right, so you heard Christina Watts.
Yes.
You
And
were
just,
in.
yeah, just hearing everything that they went through and they were still on top, all the struggle, everything that they had done, their background, it just sucked me in. I was like, okay, this is incredible. And I wanted to be a part.
I love that. So walk me through then how you guys arranged a division of responsibility working together. Did you both kind of do everything? Get leads, call leads, set appointments, run them? How do you guys, every couple that does this divides that differently. And in fact, down to the point where people ask me, is your wife in the business? I'm like, well, she doesn't have her license, but we're married. So she's very much in the business, as in we are a team, one mission, one vision, one strategy. Our strategy happens to be she clears the way at home for me so I can make the money I need to make. And that's how we divide our labor. You got your license, Bailey. So walk us through a little bit and like how you guys are working this together.
Yeah, so I got my license and thought coming in, I saw him absolutely destroying this thing and being incredible. So I was like, oh, okay, great. I can do that too. Let me get my license. I'm going to get some leads and I'm going to get me a cube faster than he did.
Let's
And
go.
he's so
Competition.
easy. And I was shot down real quick. Um, so it wasn't easy for me. I tried leads. I've never been in sales before, so I kind of had to take a step back and kind of reevaluate what my position was going to be here. And so I dialed leads for a while. Then we got to a point where we knew we needed to start recruiting. And I had gotten so discouraged in dialing and not being successful. So I was like, look, I need you to recruit and dial because I'm not good at anything here. So just do it all. And then we got plugged into the Be a Better Builder call and realized everything he was doing recruiting wise was everything you're not supposed to do. So that's when I switched to full-time recruiting and took that away from him so he could focus on producing.
Well, one of the things that we saw real quick, Jim, when we got back from conference was that with the leads and dialing them, there was a sense of urgency. There was a need for a pipeline. There was a need for consistency. And part of what we had always wanted to accomplish in our marriage is the ability for her to be able to detach and be there for the kids when she needs to and step back in when not. because we are a blended family. So over that Christmas break, we saw coming out of 2024 into this year, we saw that there was her getting a standing lead order, like the leads coming in, the need to call them right when they drop, like it wasn't working. And so, and then on top of that, I was spending an hour pacing in the front yard selling symmetry to every person I was trying to recruit. And so it just was natural that with the actual recruiting, it was like they are going to be on our schedule. Like we set them up on when we do the interviews. And so she could naturally take that over and have the flexibility that even this past summer, she was doing it poolside with the kids. Like she would just get out, do an interview, and hop back in the pool with the kids. Whereas I was here dialing and focusing on that. And so it naturally became, plus from my sales manager perspective, I was like, you know what? I don't need to know them until they become licensed. So that's what it became. It became her taking them until they're licensed. And I don't even know their name until they get licensed. Once they get licensed, then we do a welcome call and pass them off to me. And I start mentoring them from that point on.
Yeah, man, that's really cool. I think there are a lot of couples that kind of divide. One does the production, one does the recruiting side of things, or sometimes there's a builder, producer, and then an SME, a subject matter expert doing advanced markets. I see that too. I'll tell you guys, one of the things that has impressed me so much, like so much with you two, um, it blew my mind that you weren't AOs. Blew my mind. I like, how is that not? Because you're not just AOs to me. Like you guys are 130. You guys, like you're eye to eye. You're already the people that are there. It's just a matter of fleshing out and figuring out the journey to get there. So when I'm like, oh, they're key leader, I'm like, how are y'all only key leaders? And so much of my surprise in that was because of the way you guys carry yourselves. You're really good at looking at what are successful people doing. We're going to go do those things in preparation for becoming the type of people that are going to naturally walk this out. So if you can help flesh that out for us, like what are those non-negotiable things that you guys are doing that maybe you don't even have to do necessarily at the level you're at, but you don't compromise on because of where you know you're headed? I did not prepare you for that question at all, and that's a loaded one.
Yeah.
So think through it, but I want to know, what are the non-negotiables that you guys hold yourselves to?
So one of my non-negotiables, and we can go back and forth to give her time to think. One of my non-negotiables is if I'm working, I'm in the Mac room. It does
Why?
not matter. Because it's accountability, number one. That people come to expect a certain thing. And if I know they expect something, then I'm going to step up and do more because of it. Number one. Number two, it's for me, it feels like I have someone watching to make sure I'm working, even though I'm not. I feel like I have someone making sure that I'm not sitting on my couch watching ESPN, that I'm not, you know, because when I got into this business, I was very bad about being the one who was vaping and going out and just talking to a client or taking 5 minutes to vape, but I was taking 5 minutes to vape every 10 minutes. And so it became something for me that is absolutely non-negotiable. Because it's like stepping into work. I don't do and I've heard you say this, and I was like, this is the one thing I told Bailey that me and Jim disagree on. I will not dress up unless I have to. Like t-shirt, shorts every day. That's my thing. Like I am perfectly fine with that. Don't feel like a need to dress up for me, but at the same time, that's part of what that does. So I'm not just sitting here looking like a slob also. But that's the second non-negotiable for me is some form of working out first thing in the morning. The biggest reason why, because it does not matter how many times I get hung up on, doesn't matter how many times I have to dial, doesn't matter what I've faced. I've already beat my body to hell, and it's been the hardest thing that I've done for that day. So whatever else I face is going to
Mm,
look easy compared to that.
wow.
And
So
so,
you're not just working out, like you're getting it.
oh, oh yeah. Oh
All
yeah.
right.
Very much so.
No, that's really cool. I want to come back to that Mac thing for a second. You know, there's a culture in the Mac room that expects winning. And there's something that happens inside of you when you're in a culture that expects winning. I've been a part of lots of different teams and cultures and lots of small rooms where people get together and it becomes really a social hour. It becomes, we all like each other, we get along, we're here, nobody's winning. Nobody's moving forward. Nobody's making progress. Nobody expects to make sales, to earn promotion. Nobody expects, but we all like it here. Get me out of that room. That is a room where dreams go to die. I'm going to be around people that are going to call out the best of me and are not going to allow me to settle for less. So being in the Mac room and being around people that inspire you to want to be more, do more, achieve more, I'm all about it. All right. So you're
And
there. You got that
so
association piece. You're beating your body to hell.
that I want to add to that Mac room thing is because you said something non-negotiable for me, and the reason why it became a non-negotiable is it wasn't just about being in the Mac room. It was about as soon as I got back from the gym in the morning, the first thing I did was get in the Mac room. Even if I'm sitting here reading, and what that did is it created two things for me that I did not anticipate. I started doing it because I heard Scott say if he's working, that he was going to be in there. Well, guess what happened the first time I got in there? I saw Scott and I saw you. I said, okay, that's two people I want to emulate my business after. If they're doing it, I'm going to get there every single morning and I'm going to do it that early. And it allowed, I can't tell you how many times for Scott to unmute and me and Scott to talk back and forth. And the same exact thing why I started getting, I was like, okay, if Jim, I got there 10 minutes early, Jim was on the accountability call. Okay, I got there a quarter till, Jim was on the accountability call. Well, I need to get there earlier. I'm gonna be there where it's just me and Jim so that I have an opportunity, even if it's just chatting, whatever, because I want to pick his brain and have that opportunity because I want to learn so that I can be there. And then it turned into getting there like 45 minutes early. But
Yeah, now it's ridiculous, man. I drop my kids off at school and then come into my office. So I get to the office about 8:15, line up a playlist. I'm on there about 8:30. It used to be nobody. And then you'd come in about quarter of, and then it would still just be us two until about 5 of. Now I'm there 30 minutes early and there's half a dozen people. I'm like, this is kind of cool.
yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Enough time to think about it there, babe.
Bailey, yeah, let's come over to you. What are some things that you have implemented or seen as non-negotiable for you that have really helped you guys?
Well, first is reading the Bible and praying, getting into the word every single morning. Sorry, I took that from you and you didn't say it. So that is first and foremost above anything else. That you just notice a difference in your day when you start your day that way. And then reading some type of book. I was never a reader before Symmetry. Um, so that was hard for me to get used to, but the knowledge and everything that you can learn just by reading 10 pages a day, you're going to go through so many books and learn so many different things. Audiobooks too, you're still getting the knowledge of the book. Audiobooks aren't for me. I need to like actually see the words and read it. I am very ADD, ADHD, so hearing an audiobook, I'm thinking about something else and not comprehending what it's saying, but to each their own. But also the gym. I mean, that's huge for me. So we work out together, we work together, we're together 24/7.
I love that. I love that you guys do that and you still like each other. my,
Oh yeah.
my wife and I, we operate in this absence makes the heart grow fonder, and it really works well for us.
Well, I think that if it wasn't for that Bible, and we have a devotional book that we do each morning also together here in the office. I mean, if it wasn't for that being the center, then there's definitely we would because there's times where it's tested. I assure you. And it's normally me testing it, but let's be honest.
Yeah, man. All right. I love that. So you guys are really morning up right, that the day is going to flow from the morning. So you've got a routine and a ritual. You're getting your mind right, spirit right, body right, lining up this day. Then Rich is getting into the accountability room or the Mac room. You guys are both on the accountability call. Anything else that's been instrumental for you?
I mean, just having a schedule. When we first started, we were like, "Oh, we work from home. We can sleep in. We can lay on the couch and watch the Kelly Clarkson show and what was the Kelly and Mark and drink our coffee, and we'd get into the office about 10 a.m., maybe sometimes later, and we quickly saw that the successful people in the company were getting up at 5 a.m., 4 a.m. I mean, super, super early. We never even woke up that early when we were working our W-2 jobs. So we were like, heck no, we work from home now. We're not doing that. But quickly saw, to be successful, got to get up early, get your day started, and have a schedule.
Yeah, I love that. One of my good friends here in town owns a real estate brokerage, small boutique one. It's his own. He's got probably 22 to 25 agents that work out of there. Makes a killing, young guy, and he shows up every day to work at 8 a.m. in a suit. Every single day. And he's got all these agents that work for him that are desperate to have his success. And he's like, guys, I need you to understand, I have been showing up in a suit every day from before I was the boss. And they have so much trouble getting it. People have so much trouble getting it. They're like, I don't need to do this yet, so I'm not going to do it. But by not doing it, you're not positioning yourself. I became obsessed like you guys with what successful people were doing. Obsessed with it. If that's what they were doing, I had to be doing those things. How was I going to expect to get different results? People not going on training calls, not prioritizing them, not getting to conference, not tuning into the national call. Like, I get that you have professional independence. We all show up here because we love professional independence, or at least the idea of it, until we realize, oh, having that boss was really helpful to productivity. It's really good.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that I see across the board with new people coming in, and that's one thing we wanted to make sure of from the beginning, is that we weren't caught up in the idea of we can do this in our own strength. We can do this just by what we know. I tried that. Like when I first started, that was what I was all about. What we would do, and that's why very quickly, what new agents, if to be successful, if they will just take the time and just not focus on what Marshall Whalen's doing now, but what he did to get to where he's doing.
Yep.
And what everybody along the way, like what Jim Larson did to become a 130 now, who's just pouring into people. He wasn't pouring into people for 2 years. He was time when he was dialing and putting in, I mean, you say it in the new thing, like 1,000 dials, like you had to do, like everybody has to do that to get there, but everybody's not willing to. They want to live that lifestyle that's at the top. And so what we said was, we want to live that lifestyle, but we know that it ain't going to just happen by just happening. We have to be able to put in the work, and neither of us were ever scared of work. This company makes it very clear for people who aren't scared of work. If you follow this pattern, if you do this, this is what will happen. But so often people look at it and say, oh, I'm not willing to sacrifice this. And if you're not willing to sacrifice this, then you're not going to get this.
Yeah. When I was asking you, Rich, texting back and forth about getting ready for this call, one of the things that you said that you and Bailey are really big on is how you've developed both as individuals and people, but also how your marriage has developed because of this. We talk about how we are a leadership development company that happens to sell life insurance, but talk us through in the, what have you been here? How long have you been here now?
A little bit over a year, 13 months.
In the last year that you've been here, walk us through the development you've experienced. How are you different now a year in than you were a year ago? Bailey, you can answer the same. How is your marriage different a year in than it was? Because I'm going to tell everybody in this room that if you are in the same place even 6 months down the road, you're doing something wrong. If you're in the same place, struggling with the same things, fighting the same battles, in the same routines, you're doing something wrong. You should be growing so that the stuff that's hard now is different than the stuff that was hard 6 months ago. I watch so many people not live a life. They live the same year 80 times on a freaking treadmill and nothing changes. That's not what happens here if you're doing it right. So walk us through what's changed for you guys since coming here.
I'll let you go first, babe.
Of course.
Okay.
A lot. It has been a journey for sure. There's been hard times, there's been sad times, I mean, all the things. There's been happy times, there's all of it. And the growth that I have seen in him as an individual has been insane. Obviously before this, he worked his job, I worked my job, so we were only together nights and Sundays because he worked Saturdays. So we went from not being together a lot to together 24/7. And that's what we always said that we wanted. But that also came with learning new things about each other and seeing other parts of each other that we'd never seen before. We've never seen work Rich and work Bailey together. So that was a journey to get through, but to be where we are now is absolutely insane. And honestly, don't think we would be where we are today without everything that we've gone through at Symmetry and wanting better for ourselves and putting in the work to be better, reading and learning more about each other and how we can love each other better and just actually learning the things and doing what needs to be done to make it better.
Isn't it cool how important that like actually doing it is? You got a
Yeah.
lot of people on this call that have fully embraced the reading part of development. They just haven't really embraced the implementing what they read part of development. And you don't really develop if you're not implementing it.
Right. You can listen to these calls all day long, but until you actually change and do the work that they're telling you on these calls to do, nothing's going to change.
Rich, how have you changed, or what change have you seen in Bailey?
I'll start with the change I've seen in her. But if you knew her before this, she was the opposite of, I saw all this in her, but this brought it out. Somebody who is not someone to stand in front of people, not extremely shy when it comes in groups of people and standing. Like, this is something that like has to build up the strength all day long preparing for. But now flows so easily. Like, you would think that she's been speaking to people like the way that me and you, Jim, have for our entire lives. Like, it's just, it flows so natural. But part of that is because she has taken the time to, and the biggest, she hates when I give this compliment. Hate when I
Gosh, do it.
And you've corrected me, Jim, when I've told you this before. So I'm going to say it, but then I'm going to fix it the way that you told me to fix this. And when she first started out, she was a lot better than me at recruiting. But since doing Be a Better Builder, if you're not going to be a better builder and you want to be a better builder, then you're missing out. So there's the shameless plug.
Thursdays, 10 a.m. Eastern in the Mac room.
So it has changed, like, because that's one of the benefits we have. We hear each other. So I hear her on the phone, even when she doesn't think I'm paying attention. I'll move my little thing so I can listen to what she's saying. And she not only sounds just like Sarah and sounds just like Christina Watts, but she has taken it and made it her own. See, I forgot to add that part last time I told you, Jim. But she's taken it and made it her own. And it flows so seamless when she talks to people now. It just, and all that is just from taking and listening and working on our craft. Like, but when it comes to our marriage, it's the same way. I've seen a sense of leadership and maturity that has grown even as a parent in how she interacts with her children, even in how she interacts with me, even in how that there's not a fear now. And now this might go into what I've changed. I came in being in the car business. You can't be in the car business, not be cocky. You can't. If you're in the car business, you're typically pretty cocky person. I didn't say confident because behind every most cocky people is somebody who's very not confident, very self-conscious. And that's how I was. I was extremely cocky coming in. And one of the things I love but dislike about how we do things is I do not like leaderboards because I do not, it feeds into that cockiness for me.
Mm.
And that happened a lot in the beginning. Even
When
though,
you were breaking all the records and getting all the cubes and plaques and all the other things.
but here's the thing. Anybody who looks at leaderboards and thinks they're real, don't. They're great. They're great. But there's a story behind everything. And when I came in, I was just learning to write. So half the business I was writing in that first month wasn't good business. You have to learn how to write good business. It's not something that just comes naturally. And so it became, when I finally stripped away the pride of who I was and realized that, number one, I'm here for one reason and one reason only. And that's to help make a life for my family that I never dreamed. And it just so happens that while I'm doing that, I get to become the best version of myself and help people along the way. And when I realized that and was able to strip myself aside, it was when I became the leader that I was actually supposed to be and continue to grow to be, not only for my kids, but for my wife. When I was actually able to sit here across from her and her tell me when I got off the phone, that didn't sound the greatest. And me actually be able to say, yeah, you're right. And not get upset because she's attacking me. No, she's not attacking me. She's trying to help me. Was part of the massive action constant correction. I just have to have it right here in front of me. So when I finally was able to take that pride and strip it away, and that's what Symmetry does. The two biggest things I've seen Symmetry do is that I wouldn't say that my wife was cold, but you didn't see a lot of showing emotion from her. I'm telling you, in the past year of being with Symmetry, especially last 6 months, there's been more tears than I've seen the entire time we've been together, 5 years. Like it's become a constant, just on calls, like emotions just flowing. And for me, it just stripped away my pride. And I think that those two things are the biggest changes for us that we both needed. And that only happened because of Symmetry. And it's just something magical about it. When you truly let yourself go and become part of the process, it will change you. It really will.
I
Man.
never knew I could cry so much. Literally every call, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so touched. And I'm just boo-hooing over here. I'm like, I've never cried this much in my life.
Oh, that's so funny. I'll tell you, I mean, in listening to your story, guys, you don't achieve things here without doing hard things. So let's go. I mean, just and those in the audience, those listen, like, let's go through this. How hard is it to spend money you don't have on leads you have no guarantee are going to actually deliver business? That's hard. How hard is it to carve out time to dial leads when you are not good at this? You're getting shut down every time. You're getting yelled at. You're feeling like I'm never going to get. How hard is that? That's hard. How hard is it to finally set appointments and have them ghost you? How hard is it to finally sit with someone and get it declined? How hard is it to finally sell something and then you get a charge back? Every step you take here, you're dealing with challenge and challenge and challenge. Everyone is hard and hard and hard. And guess what? Most people quit.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that don't, what happens? They get strong. They get strong through the hard. They have beat themselves and they have faced their insecurities and faced their demons and faced the hard. They got good at this and they got proud of themselves. And you get humble along the way. You can't help it because you've stared at your brokenness and your emptiness. You've stared at the end of yourself. You've realized you can't do this. So you have to literally break and relearn you. You can't win here without being humble. You can't win here without doing the hard. You can't win here without pressing into another level you didn't know you had. And what comes out of that is a version of you didn't know was in there. I'm not the same person I was 2 or 3 years ago even. My wife loves this man she's married to. She did not know she was getting this guy. I didn't know I was delivering this guy. I didn't know this guy was in there. And if it were up to me, I would never have found this guy because I would have stayed on the couch doing the easy, comfortable, routine things. It was only by coming here with my back against the wall, needing to do it, showing up for it, that I became the guy that I'm like, I don't mind this guy. He's okay. It's cool. And watching you guys, I mean, still in the middle of the hard, still in the middle of the grind, still in the middle of figuring it out. But you're figuring it out with such an incredible optimism, such an incredible commitment to the fact that you already know it's gonna happen. You don't really know how, you're kind of figuring it out. You definitely don't know when, you don't control that, but you're doing it with the great expectation that it's absolutely gonna happen. It's really cool watching. In a short time, I've become a really big fan of the days. It's cool. Guys in the comments, can you leave some love for Rich and Bailey? They don't do this and give up their time in an evening with, I don't know, however many all kids they have. So many kids. They don't they don't give up their time from, maybe they do. Maybe they actually like, please invite us to an evening call so we can watch the kids. I don't know. If it were me, I'd feel that way. But leave love for them in the comments. They give their time because they want to know they're making an impact. They want to know, and they don't even want you to like clap, like, cool, that was a nice call, guys. They want to hear 7 months from now at Ignite when you're like, hey, I made a change because of that call you guys were on and my business is different because of it. That's why they want to do this. We got a lot of new people on here. Leave them each with one thing. If you could have new people walk away with one thing, Bailey, I'm putting you on the spot. I'm giving Rich a time to think.
I'm ready
now. Oh yeah. All right, sweet. One thing you want new people to take away with, what is it?
There have been so many times that I've wanted to quit here. It's gotten hard and it would have been way easier to just walk away and go back to what I've known my whole working adult year life. But I had to look at Symmetry as a marriage. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm not divorcing Symmetry, and we are going to make it to the top no matter what we have to get through. So you just have to change your mindset. If you are here and you want this, you're in marriage, baby, and you ain't divorcing it.
I love that. All right, Rich.
God, there's so many things. The biggest thing that I can tell you is you have more in you than you realize. When you came into Symmetry, when you walk this life, we have programmed ourselves based upon what the world has told us that we can only achieve a certain amount. But every single one of us has way more in us than we realize. You just have to look inside and find what it is that's in you to keep pressing forward. The easiest, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna get spiritual for half a second here, Jim. God has a mountain And I've been on mountains for some reason lately. It's been my focus. Like he has a mountain that he has designed for each and every single one of you. But the problem is it's so much easier to live in the valley. And we just want to focus on the valley. But if we will look up to the top of that mountain and not take your eyes off the goal and just start stepping, before long, the view you will be looking at is from the top of that mountain. And I promise you, the harder the climb, the more beautiful that view is going to be. So if you're feeling a certain way right now, just know you're not alone. There's a lot of people walking through it with you. And we're all wanting to see you at the top of that mountain.
Let's go. So freaking good. I adore you guys. Thank you for your time this evening. I'm going to stop this recording and then